Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason. I'm here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Burnham, Texas, the birthplace of Texas in Washington County. And this is the Star Report for April the 24th through April the 30th, 2024. And we begin, as always, with the sun. The sun has been super active over the last week. With a high number of sun spots and solar flares. Those solar flares haven't created any significant CMEs that were Earth directed during that time. But when we're in those high CME, excuse me, when we're in those high solar flare times, those are the things that are causing heart palpitations, cardiac issues. Sometimes they will trigger mental spectrum disorders to sort of track in a certain way. And so you might be feeling a little bit of extra energy moving through and a little bit of triggerness from the sun doing that. Like I said, there are no CMEs that are currently heading towards Earth. So that is good. The other thing that is happening is the coronal hole is Earth facing currently. And so it's a large, mostly center disk into the southern hemisphere that is cause for concern, and that locked with the Earth yesterday. And so when the coronal hole locks with the Earth, that is an increase in earthquake potential. So pay attention if you live around earthquake areas for higher potential for that to be happening. Physically, what it's going to do to your body is sometimes that feels like pressure. So you sort of feel sluggish or squeezed a little bit. Sometimes a little bit of tension, headaches will go on with that. And then when those coronal holes have the magnetic lock is when we start to feel the effects. But those also have a plasma stream that comes out of them, and that plasma stream sometimes causes solar or geomagnetic storms. So pay attention to those. The plasma stream will be arriving over the weekend. So start looking for the effects on Friday. And when we have geomagnetic storms, that's just going to be like internet slowing, sometimes technology issues. You could have increased dream activity and issues with focus on those days. So pay attention to that. We are currently, like I said last week, we are now in the Taurus season, and physically, how you're going to feel that energy of being in the Taurus zodiac is right here at the back of the head. The alchemical correspondence part of the body where that happens is right here at the base of the skull, the polyvagal nerve cluster. And like I said, really that energy is about making things happen that are the higher mind, right? We just left the Aries season where we had this information, this download, all these cosmic events that were happening, giving us ideas about how the world is supposed to work and how we're supposed to be in it. And so when we get to Taurus, that energy is now how do we put that into physical reality and manifest that into quote unquote real world stuff. And so that's the nature of Taurus and the tenacity for which it gets a bad rap of bullheadedness, of not changing the mind, right? And so really in order for these higher minded ideas to get into practice and into physical reality, you need to be continuous, right? Because a lot of times we'll experience those ideas as pie in the sky stuff, and those aren't a reality we can be in, and those don't really match with how we have to live in the world. And so the Taurus has to be consistent, and of course yours truly is a Taurus, so I like to be consistent, that you're a divine eternal soul that's never going to die and worthy of love and affection. So there's that, and that's the understanding of Taurus. And the one of the things that you can be doing, or one of the things you might also, if you're resistant to the higher minded things being possible for you or in the world, or even desirable, you might be getting pain at the base of the skull. One of the things to do is just get your two fingers and sort of get there, the base of the skull, where there's that little pocket, and just sort of push it like a button, not very hard, but almost if you were pushing a elevator button, those are usually pretty soft. Just give it a little push, and while you're pushing that, and just give it a couple seconds, you'll start to feel a tingle move down the spine, and then you can start to feel a little bit of tingliness at the bottom of the feet, right? You're just sort of grounding that energy in and pushing through any blockages. That could release a little bit of the head pain that you might be having through that. So pay attention to that. Which leads us into Wednesday. Wednesday today is the 24th. And tons of cosmic energy just happened. We are still experiencing the Lyrid meteor shower. Look towards the star system Lyra to see those. They're still peaking. We're still basking in the full moon energy of yesterday slash tomorrow slash today of yesterday if you are on the other side of the planet. um Really, all of that energy, the meteors and then the bright moon should really sort of highlight or spotlight the things that you've discovered since the eclipse season. And then, of course, we combine all that energy with the active solar energy, the sun being active. You might be feeling anxious, or like there's so much energy going through you, like jittery, like coffee or caffeine or sugar high. And you might not be liking that, or it might be sort of starting to short circuit you. But rather than experiencing that as anxiety, maybe if you change your perspective of that you're being upgraded, right? And so when you're getting upgraded, you got to do two things, right? You got to accept what is, right? What you were, and that maybe those things weren't working for you, and that an upgrade is necessary. And then you need to sort of allow that energy to flow through and build something new, right? It doesn't have to be entirely new, but it definitely has to be different than what you came from, right? And that's the energy of the cosmos for that. Moves us into Thursday, tomorrow, 425, April the 25th. And tomorrow, what we have experiencing is the end of Mercury retrograde. Woo! Mercury moves direct, and that's going to lead us into post Mercury retrograde. And then, really, what you want to sort of pay attention to is what sort of things have happened in the last 3 weeks, right? And so we had a lot of stuff that happened and highlighted or released a lot of things that were going on with you. So what is it, like April 2nd? I think we went into retrograde. So we had the solar eclipse, we had the post shadow, we had the full moon, we had the planetary alignments, we had Jupiter into Taurus, all those things, right? So what's been revealed to you over the last 3 weeks about yourself, and sort of how do you sort of deal with that? And then that's gonna lead us into Friday, Saturday, where we enter the Mercury retrograde post shadow, right? So if you've had any communication or relationship issues or contractual issues and stuff that have been going on or being revisited during the last 3 weeks, you should be done with the newness of those, right? So it shouldn't be any new issues coming up. It should be just those 2 weeks is about tying up those loose ends and getting those things done. And since that is the case, since Mercury is gone direct, that would be over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, if you do business on the weekends of contracts, that you could start to move on business contracts, right? So if you were thinking about getting a new car, if you're trying to close on a house, if you are signing a contract for employment, or you're signing a contract for some kind of business deal, that's the time to sort of work on that. Then moves us into Sunday, the 28th. Is a 22 master day, and that's just the numerological total of the date reduced down to its lowest form, which, when you get an 11 or a 22, you keep it at that. So it's a 22 master day, and that's really the energy of Sunday. Is you want to really decide what are your boundaries, right? So this kind of is contract, but this is more contract with self. What are you not going to accept anymore? What are these things you discovered about the self that you're putting into reality that are your non-negotiables, right? Or if you're just talking to yourself, how are you going to negotiate? How are you going to negotiate those new rules about yourself? That's Sunday. Leads us into Monday, the 29th. Really the energy of Jupiter in Taurus, that bullheadedness, that large planetary power, that ability to act and have things go your way, or act and see results, is the energy of Monday, the 29th. And so the energy that you should be paying attention to is to really embrace your power, right? It's not somebody else's power. It's not meant for you power. It's not power to be reserved or saved. It's power to be embraced and acted upon or used for your highest good, right? So if you've been going through these energy shifts, wondering what's for you, or doing meditation, or doing visioning processes, or manifesting sound bath, whatever you've been doing, right? This is the time to sort of embrace that cosmic power and continue to do that and gain control of your life. Which leads us into Tuesday the 30th, where April ends. And we really get to sort of on Tuesday the 30th, we really get to sort of celebrate or bask in the accomplishments of our cosmic spring, right? So May is usually moving into summertime. School ends and all that stuff in May, and so April is really the sort of into spring, not cosmically, of course, we haven't hit to the summer solstice and all that fun stuff. But nonetheless, it's a cosmic spring, right? And so all those things about rebirth, renewing, things coming into bloom, the picture becoming clearer and fuller, right? The trees, deepening in their color, filling out their leaves, right? So things become more vibrant and less see-through, right? And so therefore more concrete reality. That's why it's sort of Taurus energy. So you should be embracing on Tuesday that energy of your cosmic spring. Who are you filled out? What is your true colors? Who do you want to be in the world? Is the kind of energy of Tuesday. So go ahead and pay attention to that as the month ends. And of course, we'll pick up with May next Wednesday when we get back. If you've been trying to get to the shop, we have been busy outside the shop. So if there is availabilities, those will be online. If it's not available online, then it's not available. Try to get those booked out if you're trying to book a session. 48 hours ahead of time. The software doesn't let you book the next day. It's just a scheduling thing so that I don't get surprised waking up and somebody's booked something I've got 5 minutes to get to. So just sort of pay attention to that. It's a 2-day window. So if you're thinking about something, look 2 days out or plan 2 days early to look and see if you can get that day. I will be out of the shop for sure next month, the 9th through the 17th. We spent a good retrograde, Ashley and I, doing expansive things for ourselves. I went and volunteered up in Denver at an Insight, and she just got back from a week-long impact. Those things of self-discovery, and we're working on continuing that process. And so 9th through the 17th, I'll be at what they call influence, manifesting and doing what I discovered about myself during the retrograde, right? So I am trying to live this energy in the windows that the energy is happening. I'm not just telling you how to live your life. So we've been working on that stuff here. So yeah, if you want to get in, check the website, newdimensionscrystals.com, book a session, I think is the button that you would see, and sort of check the calendar if there's something you want to do with either a cleanse, a connect, or an integrate, which are the energy sessions where you're on a table receiving healing energy, or if you want to do the active healings of breath work, you can still bring a friend of those. So if you get the session, you can bring 2 of you, or 2 of you can participate in that breathwork session. And that is just as transformational as the other stuff. It's just you're doing the work yourself and allowing the cosmic energy to flow through you based at your own pace and speed that you can breathe at. So that's everything that's happening here at New Dimensions Crystals. And I'm again Jason, and it's been a great time talking to you for the Star Report of April the 24th through the 30th. Until next time, everybody, many blessings.